Welcome everyone to another video blog by myself, Airy Sky Readily. I'm Rita. So for some of you out there, I am going to say this video blog is of 9/13 of 2016. Now, first of all, I have been as tired can be. I was wearing a black top today, just because it could cover my nipples, and yeah, it worked. But let me tell you, I started sweating and stuff like that, and you say, "Oh, well, sweating's good as a girl." Well, try having implants in you, and you can see what goes on. So anyways, I was very happy today, except for the 4 a.m. wake-up call. I wake up, and I'm like, 3 hours of sleep. Let me sleep another 6. I get up, dragging my butt. I go and get my reviews, my scriptures and my devotions done. By the way, if you notice, I got Aaron here with me. Even though Aaron's passed on, my sweetheart is in this little box. Thanks to Poppy. So anyways, I'm drinking some orange soda and gin. I found orange soda can go with pretty much any type of liquor, as long as the liquor is not nasty. So, got up, did my business emails. Got on the bus at 7 in the morning. Got a guy who was just very nice, we got to where I was going. And I was wearing a little black top, same as this. And I decided to run and go and use the bathroom. So I ran into the bathroom. No one was in there. I was like, weird. Because the community college's art room is locked still. I mean, it's like first part of September and school's in. Why are you guys closed? So instead, I decided to walk over and I got in there and I got my business done, and I came out and I waited for the bus. Bus came, went downtown as to get me off here. Bus driver said, "Okay, no problem, ma'am." Next thing you know, I'm pulling the cord and calling him a jackass. Now, usually as a woman, I would never say that. The bus driver I had was very kind and considerate, and he apologized. He's like, we drivers sometimes skip things, And I felt bad. So I got done, and I'm like, you know what? I got some time. My cousin's coming at 10. No problem. He came around 10:20. But all of a sudden, I decided, okay, I got time, so I get off and I decide to walk up to the, through the park. I saw a homeless guy who made me sad because, I was homeless at once, and now look, ta-da! And I was sad about him. I had some other people, so I just walked past, and what did I order on Amazon? Oh, okay, it's a reorder, January, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's 2017. I was worried for a minute. I'm like, what the? So anyways, so back to my story. So I go into the library, and I have little, I want to share with you all. I'm moving him for you all, just because I can for once. I have, right here in this little basket, let me show you. Service dog Moppy. As you all know, I have a service dog, and his name is Moppy. Now, Moppy needs to rest because he's been tired all day. So, anyways, so what happened was we decided to go ahead. Hold on, I'm going to fix this because I want me in the camera as well as my sweetheart. So, there you have it. So we get there, and I go in, and this lady's like, "Oh, you don't know how to do this?" I'm like, "I'm from this city, darling." She sets me through it, and then the head librarian comes up. "Oh, I know what the librarian in your city. We go there all the time. That library's the best in the entire region. The entire library system of our library system, that building's the best. Our building's 50 years old." I'm like, "Yeah, I can tell." Anyways, the lady's looking at me, and she's like, "Are those real?" Yeah, if you want to think about it. Print out my thing, put it in my backpack. I'm like, cigar time. So I go out and I'm waiting and waiting. I light up and it's like dead calm. No wind. Next thing you know, and I'm like, so my cousin comes and he's an awesome guy. I mean, he's totally awesome, you know. And so we talked, you know. He said he's going to help me load a truck up. And so tonight, I made a phone call yet again because my Aunt Aya said, if you know what you own, basically put it into this U-Haul, or not U-Haul, Hertz Penske truck rental thing, and they'll tell you what truck size you need. Well, I got like 20 foot, you know, from the Hertz Penske, and the U-Haul lady tonight on the phone says, if you take your desk and put it on one side, take your other desks, put it on the other side, because the truck box is 20 feet, move your couch and your other stuff on the other side, and start stacking the boxes up. Time you get done, 20-foot truck is going to work because you can do the Tetris effect. I'm like, okay, no problem. Of course, I'm a stupid female, as my mom would say, but what the hell? Let's just check on this, shall we? So, anyways, I'll get that in a minute. I just got to throw some sausages in. Anyways, so I finally get to the management company, the new manager, and, you know, but before I get to that, my cousin goes and he's hungry, and I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry too. So I start trekking up the hill, going towards the Dairy Queen. I'm like, I'm going to grab me a couple Ultimate Burgers. You know, they're like $6 a piece. I'm like, hi, how are you? And the lady's like, what can I do for you? And I'm like, oh, well, I would like some Ultimate Burgers. I haven't had them. We've discontinued them. Really, if I call Wenatchee and you haven't discontinued them and you're selling me those hamburgers here, I'm going to be angry. Well, before I got to Dairy Queen, my adopted grandmother found me and pulls into the clinic. You know, the clinic where Aaron died. Or was told, you're not dying, park it, you know. And then he died that night. So, that's why Aaron's... So, anyways, I gotta thank Aaron for everything he's done. These wouldn't have been done without Aaron. So, thank you, sweetheart. So, I get in there and the lady's like, we don't do Ultimate Burgers anymore. I'm like, fine, I'll take 2 of these. Lady looks down, and I said 2, which means I wanted the pair, just like breast implants. The pair of double cheeseburgers for $3.99. No, she had to bill me for 4. So I get 2 orders of $3.99 burgers and a soda. Then she wanted to charge me for a water. And I looked at her and I said, hey, lady. And she's like, yeah, what do you want? And I'm like, you can't charge me for a water if I bought burgers and a soda. Well, you only need 1 beverage. Yeah, but Moppy needs a beverage too. What the hell's a Moppy? My service dog. She looked down. Uh-oh. Grabbed the dog water and took my soda out, and I said, I'll be back. When I came back, they were still cooking my burger. Finally, I got in, and we drove down to where we're supposed to meet up with the new apartment manager, you know, because the old one retired, and we got the new one. She gives me a hug, and she says, everything's going to be all right, Rita. Are you taking care of yourself? Yeah, and Moppy's keeping me busy, too. And she's like, really? That's wonderful. I'm like, yeah. So anyways, I get my paperwork done. She's like, do this, do that, do this. I said, oh, I got this, and I got that, and I got this. And she's like, girl, work it. You did everything I needed, plus some. And most people have to come back 4 or 5 times just to get set up. I'm like, well, the problem is I'm not got the bus fare, and I got to get plans put together. Well, I have the bus fare. She looks at me, and she says, damn, those are nice. I'm like, amen, girlfriend. You got to work it sometimes. And she's like, you did. You put all the papers together. So, before I miss my bus, can we actually meet up and check out the apartment? So she goes through it. The bathroom, bigger. Kitchen, bigger, but the kitchen's open. Then I looked at her and I said, honey, can I get a new space-age stove that's got the built-in cleaning thing? I said, I can't do it. She says, I'll help you if you ever need your oven cleaned. Cool. So, finally, I decided, I'm just checking, I don't want anything burning or on fire because of it. So, finally, I look over and the living room's about the same size as my dining room and my living room. My dining room's there, so it's the same size. You take out the halls, which is a little smaller, but you got a bigger kitchen. And then I'm like, well, I have a storage shed on my balcony, so it goes into this room, right? And it's a storage room. And in it, it's got the same measurements and heights of this current storage shed I had there. I'm like, oh yeah, mama likes. But the bedroom is pretty big too. And I'm like, I can turn the bedroom into an office since I don't need to share it with anyone. So, but anyways, let me replay something for you real quick. So I was sitting in the library, and I have disabilities, and the lady comes up, so what does this little cutie pie do for you? I tell her. She looks at me, oh, yeah, that's what my assistant librarian has for her sister, for the dog, her dog. Well, duh. She just looked at me like, I was like, can I print this out so I can go outside so I can have a cigar? Like, see? I mean, anyway, so I finally get done, and we looked it over the place. I got an idea how to do my apartment layout. The manager hugs me and says, I'll see you soon. You did everything perfect. So I went for Grandma, and we get in the car, and we go and we get Grandpa. And I put Grandpa's walker in the back, and he's like, you're looking pretty good, sweetheart. Well, Grandpa's a sweetheart, even though he's almost 80. And Granny's driving the car, and I'm like, I don't know where the community college is. Finally, we get to the community college, right? Granny's following a bus, and there's this guy. He's got a Ukrainian accent. He's a nice guy. Granny cuts him off and does this. The bus driver's honking his horn. Then he does this. Bus driver's honking his horn. Then she pulls in to go around him and pulls in and blocks him. He's honking her horn. I finally got out and I looked at the bus driver and I said, my adopted grandmother's 90. Maybe they should pull her license. And he says, young lady, I agree. She shouldn't be driving at 90. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Because, and Granny didn't know what she was doing on the bus. So Granny leaves, and I'm sitting there. So I get on the bus, and I got this lady. I'm like, I'm going to this town. Oh, yeah, get on, honey. What's the doggy's name? Well, on their road, apparently these two girls live together. They're just training each other. They're lesbians. So they're like, haha, hey, you got a nice rack. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, great. So I get lesbian bus drivers. Alright, so driving, and then I find out the lesbian bus drivers love kids because they can't have it too, unless they had sperm donated. And they're giving candy out to the bus, and she's like, you're not a kid. And I'm like, don't worry about it. But she's looking at my black top, which was the same as this, and she's like, man, those are nice. I'm like, thanks. So when I get home, I go and I wash up, I brush my hair, and all of a sudden, I have to get my computer on because I have to email something my therapist sent for my apartment complex. So I email it to my manager here, I get it printed out, I send it to him. He gets it and says, done, done, and done. Meanwhile, I get a phone call from my hormone doctor. He's like, we got this plan, we're good to go. You're on a roll, girl. Keep it rolling. Roll on 18-wheeler, honey. Finally, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need a drink. Guess what? You don't get a drink, girl. Next thing you know, Outside downstairs after doing all that paperwork with the manager, she's like, "Oh, well, we'll get your hubby's mailbox key and his laundry key tomorrow." Fine. I get up, I waddle all the way with Moppy with his service coat on, still on, I didn't take it off, to the post office. I get something about insurance. You need renter's insurance in this. Oh, maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I can get these insured. These are my assets, as Aaron said. And I'm a little tipsy, so anyways. So I finally get done with my, and I'm not a ditz, by the way, what's that movie called, blonde chicks, or, white chicks? You know how they're trying to imitate, oh, well, whatever. Nah, it's not really me, but, I just threw it in for humor, so. Anyway, so I finally get back from the post office, and when I went there and back, I see this guy, and he's like, "Ooh, service dog and pretty girl." I'm like, "Yeah, in your dreams, boy, in your dreams." And she's looking at me like, "Oh, yeah, she's nice." I'm like, "In your dreams, mother that's looking over your disabled grandkid or child." Get home, next thing you know, my neighbor's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Ready for what?" Next thing you know, she's got me big cardboard boxes. I got 2 rolls of tape, so I said, "Am I going to hold the tape? Is going to hold up?" She says, "I don't know." What do I got to do? Next 2 weeks, pack up. But the current manager at the new place says, "Don't put in your 2-week notice. You can get it prorated, etc." My manager's like, "Well, we can't, Randy, you're going to have to pay, and you might move out in November." My my new manager says, "Don't worry. We'll handle it for you, girl." So, I'm sitting there, enjoying myself, and I get the boxes done. I go and get Blizzard emptied, and I find out Mr. Blizzard's still sick from it, and I realize, hey, wait! The reason he's sick is because he changed dog food recently. Instead of going with that old Roy crap, Mama went with Alpo. Next thing you know, I might go and get some Gravy Train. Oh, right. The neighbor downstairs decided she thought Moppy didn't need the Gravy Train and took the Gravy Train for her, little runt. And I'm like, "Well, you do know I was showing you the Gravy Train because you asked it. I didn't tell you to take the Gravy Train." So Moppy's complaining about his Gravy Train, and Blizzard's got the runs from the new food. Give it a couple days, and it's good. Finally get done, decide to do this video and fire up a few drinks. I called U-Haul, and they said, if you stack it up on one side, the other side, move all your boxes, whether it be 40 boxes or 60, various sizes, they'll fit nicely as the Tetris effect. I thought it was cool today because I got to meet my cousin. So, with that said, everyone, right now I'm going to be getting my sausages in the oven, and I'm going to upload this. So, next up is some other news coming up soon, but I will share that news with you later. I feel blessed. My cousin's awesome, and I'd like to, have another cigar with him. I'll probably be, if he's not working, I'll probably meet up with him again because the apartment manager is going to want me to fill out some more paperwork by the end of the month. Oh, talking about Grandma, oh yeah, I did. I told you about that. And then when Granny left and found out the bus I had to wait 20 minutes, I went and used the little girl's room again. This time the bathrooms are all clean, but I looked at a lady, she looked at me, and she's like, "Damn, I want something like those." I'm like, I walked out. Oh, and I bought Moppy a meat stick over at the vending machine there. It's like 2 meat sticks for like 75 cents or 50 cents. Anyways, he was looking for the second meat stick. I'm like, Mama's hungry. Mama gets a little bit. Cool. Moppy's a pampered boy. So, that said, everyone, look for another video coming up in the next few days. In the meantime, just remember I'm mourning and I'm doing the best I can with what I have. So, please subscribe, please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion, thank you, and may God bless you in everything you do.